And Afrique is our guest of honor with an application created in Senegal to allow young women, men and women to understand the menstrual cycle in women. It's not always easy to talk about this in different countries. And if young girls have not been told what would happen, they don't understand what's happening to them. And boys, when they're teenagers, will come and make fun of them. So Weerwi is a tool that has been created to help to build awareness around the menstrual cycle. And let's look at the pictures.
Il y a beaucoup de non-dits sur les règles sénégales. Il y a peu d'espace pour en parler. Donc c'est pour ça en partie qu'on a créé les outils Weerwi. Weerwi, c'est tout un univers, en fait. Donc, on est parti d'une application mobile pour accompagner les jeunes filles et les femmes dans la découverte et le suivi du cycle menstruel. On a aussi un chatbot qui permet de répondre à toutes les questions des jeunes filles 24 heures sur 24. On a aussi accès à un call center de sage-femme en ligne. Et puis, on a la possibilité surtout de suivre son cycle. Ça, c'est assez rare dans ce qui existe habituellement en Afrique. On a beaucoup d'informations, de sensibilisation, mais on n'a pas beaucoup de personnalisation.
I'm ashamed of going to school. What have you done? I have my period and everybody's making fun of me. What?
Weerwi, c'est aussi une super série sur YouTube qui parle aux jeunes filles, mais aussi à tout leur entourage.
Une chose qu'il faut savoir, les filles comme les garçons, on ne se moque pas d'une fille quand elle est tachée.
Amina, je suis désolé.
Pas grave, on oublie.
L'enjeu, c'est aussi d'aller en Côte d'Ivoire, au Bénin, au Togo, dans tous les pays francophones finalement d'Afrique et de pouvoir faire voyager nos personnages.
On peut applaudir Marina Gning.
So, Marina Gning, who has travelled here from Dakar, please join us up here. She is the co-founder and director of Happy Africa, who has developed Weerwi. Here, Marina, this is a microphone for you. And so you can talk to us about this wonderful application, the idea of the web series. So how did the Weerwi project come to life? Because you didn't necessarily have the intention of, engaging in educational activities. Yes, of course, little by little. Like many big projects. First of all, we created a company in Senegal which manufactures washable sanitary pads and nappies for children. And as I said in the video, there was not a lot of space to talk about it. And that's why little by little we developed the program at the beginning with zero funds and little by little with some partners. And this is how far we've come. So there's also an algorithm to help women with their periods. But before talking about the algorithm, I would like you to talk to you about the construction of the website. So we talk a lot about engineers and techniques. And AI, but you remind us that there are human beings behind this. And this application was actually co-built with the young women and also some young men from Senegal. Can you tell us how you did all of this? Well, it's only co-construction and partnership because I am not a technological expert at all, and I didn't know anything about AI. I've learned a bit about it now. But it set off from a need, and therefore there was a consortium of companies in Senegal. There are 5 companies who've worked together to create these tools. And I think that this is what makes their strength today. There is one on theory of change, measurement, evaluation, and literature review. Another company worked on the user experience and human design. We have another company who worked on the chatbot with artificial intelligence. We worked on the content because we had experience in the field with the young women and communication, and our company developed the application and the websites. And indeed, we co-constructed everything with the girls. I'm not the target, as you can imagine. We organised focus groups with young girls and mothers. So the girls came, the mothers came, and they said, I want this, I want that. We had a booklet that we created 3-4 years ago, and that was the first basis with which we could talk to them. And we identified what shocked them, what they wanted to see. Then we had focus groups on the application with a human design system and a lot of cards to choose the functions they wanted and the colours. I wouldn't have chosen pink, for example, but they all wanted pink. It's a Barbie phenomenon there. So the idea was that every time we had a new idea, it's tested in the field to see if it's relevant for our users. So the novelty, it's not just an application to explain what the menstrual cycle is and all about periods. We have the AI to tailor things so that the young girl can plan when she will get her periods and understand her body. Yes. What is specific is that this theme of menstrual cycles is dealt with in NGOs, in the sexual reproduction lessons. But all women have menstrual cycle, whether they're sexually active or not, whether they're mothers or not. And so we focused on that, and we even put in the personal development side of things. So real tailored support of the young girl through her menstrual cycle. So of course she will know when she will next have her period, when she is fertile, but we will also give her recommendation for each phase of her menstrual cycle. In this phase, you're more creative. In this phase, you need to stay alone a little bit. In that phase, you have a lot of energy. Now's the time to communicate. So we're really, helping the young girls to come to terms with their own bodies and for their well-being. A final word, because it's important. It's not a gadget. On the YouTube web series, we saw a few extracts in the short video on Weerwi. That's all. 1 million people have watched the video. And as you say, this contributes to the success of the application itself. It's maybe something that will attract young girls towards your application, and that's important. It's not just technology, it's communication and popular general public communication. Yes, what's really important with this program is that it's multi-channel. There are tools that resonate with each other. It's the same environment. You have this booklet, which for girls of 10 to 15 years old who don't yet have access to the web, no smartphone. You have the mobile app, you have the chatbot, you have the series. We also hold face-to-face workshops. All of this with the same character. There's a story. We find the characters in the series, which targets teenagers, and it's the partnership which led us to success. We worked with a Senegalese well-known producer and screenwriter who is very familiar with the life of young girls in Senegal. And she is the one who created the series. So we co-built the series together. And this is how, with our small episodes and little means, we have a lot of people who've watched a lot of watches and a lot of reactions. Yes, we insist on multi-channel communication. It's very important. Paper communication is not dead. And YouTube is tremendous. If you're not on YouTube, you can go onto Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Yes, and this allows us to reach out to different populations because the application is focused on young women and girls, whereas the series reaches out to the fathers, teachers, husbands, and we try to go through the series to speak about this theme to everybody so that people can understand. And digital is tremendous, but the impact is very individual. And we're working also towards, from this individual impact, to see how we can broaden this out. And we can manage to do this thanks to this panel of tools, this variety of tools, because it allows people to talk about it together. The booklets are often used for mothers to talk with their daughters, the series with the teachers in the classrooms, etc. So to give this award to this very exciting project, I call Professor Shikayuko, who is from the group of experts of the Pierre Fabre Foundation. Thank you.
Alors, Professeur Bagayoko, je vous donne le prix. Je vais également vous donner un petit un micro. Et cette question, qu'est-ce qui a séduit
So
finalement le groupe
what
d'experts de la
attracted your
Fondation
attention of the group of experts in this project?
Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de réponses
And I think
déjà
that
dans
all of the answers
son
are in
intervention.
what has,
Et je pense
she's just said, and I think that
l'inclusivité est dans
inclusivity in
l'ADN de
the
la
very
Fondation Pierre
is part of the very
Fabre,
DNA
et
of the Pierre
l'Observatoire
Fabre
e-santé aussi.
Foundation
Et on
and
comprend
our
que c'est un
e-health
projet
project also.
très
We
inclusif
find this a
avec
very
une
inclusive
approche
project with a
très
very
inclusive,
inclusive
donc,
approach.
puis
And
on
we can
voit
see
aussi que c'est un
that it
sujet
is
qui est tabou
it is a subject
dans
that is
notre contexte, pas au
taboo
Sénégal
in
seulement,
not
mais
only in
aussi,
Senegal but in the
dans le
context
contexte
African
africain.
context.
Et la co-construction,
And
c'est vrai
we
qu'on en
talk a
parle
lot
beaucoup
about
dans beaucoup de
co-construction in
projets,
many
surtout
projects,
lorsqu'on
except
met
that
en
when
place des
you
projets
set
publics.
up this
Mais
type of
là, on
project,
voit
we don't
vraiment
necessarily
une
see it.
vraie
But here we can
co-construction
see
avec
real
les
co-construction with the
bénéficiaires
beneficiaries who are at the very
Et
heart
enfin, on
of
dit
this.
chez nous que
And
lorsqu'on
we
éduque
say
un garçon, on
that
éduque
when
une
we
personne,
educate a
mais
boy, we
lorsqu'on éduque
educate
une
a
fille,
person,
on
but
éduque
when
toute
we
une nation.
educate a girl, we educate an entire nation.
Très belle philosophie.
Wonderful
Dernière
philosophy.
petite question,
Final
Cheikh Oumar
short
Bagayoko,
question.
la remise de ce prix aujourd'hui.
We are giving you this this award
Ça
today,
s'arrête
but
pas à la
that
remise du prix.
things
Il y a
don't stop
tout un
there.
accompagnement.
There will be
Qu'est-ce que vous allez
support for the
pouvoir
future.
proposer
What
à
will you
Weerwi?
be bringing to Weerwi in
Je
the
pense
future?
que le but de
I
ces
think that the
prix
purpose of
au
this
niveau de
award
l'observatoire, c'est
within the
déjà
observatory
mettre en
is to
lumière
shed
déjà
light,
les
put the
projets,
spotlight
les
on
initiatives, même si je pense
initiatives,
Weerwi
even though I
en
think that
Wolof dit la
Weerwi
lune. Donc on met en
is
lumière cette
well
fois-ci
communicated.
une
We're
lumière
putting
qui
the
existe
spotlight
déjà,
on
ce qui n'est pas mal.
the project.
Mais l'autre chose, c'est aussi de
And
permettre
also
le
we will
développement,
allow
non
the
seulement au
development
Sénégal d'abord,
of
mais
this not
l'extension
only in
à
Senegal,
tous
but
nos
we
pays,
hope
parce
to
que
extend
c'est
this to
un
all of our
problème qui est
countries
commun
because
à tous nos
it
pays,
is a
même
problem
si
that
je
is
n'ai pas
common to
entendu
all of our
le
countries,
Mali
even though I didn't
dans-
hear you
Donc,
say Mali.
j'imagine,
But I
j'espère
imagine
que
and I
ce sera
hope
au Mali aussi un jour.
that we will find this
Je vous
in
laisse
Mali one
remettre
day.
le prix, professeur.
So I will let you give the award. We will take the photos.
On peut applaudir
And we can give a
Marina
big
Gning,
round
Pierre
of
Frick et tous
applause
ses
to Marina
partenaires
Green and all of her
pour
partners
cette application et
for
ce
this
prix remis à
application
Weerwi.
and this award given to Weerwi. Thank you very much,
Merci
Marina.
beaucoup,
Please stay
Marina.
with us.
Restez, voilà,
Um,
prenez votre prix et puis vous restez avec nous.
And I would really like to thank the foundation, Pierre Fabre Foundation, and your very serious approach to studying the different applications, because I've never seen a consultant come to our countries to spend 1 week with us to meet all of our partners and see what we were doing. So it was quite exceptional. So thank you for this. And thank you for having brought me here today, because I've already met a lot of potential partners. So will we soon will be soon in Mali and Chad, etc. Oh, what more could we hope for? Thank you very much. So yes, the awards are not given lightly. First, the applications are pulled apart by a committee of experts and specialists in e-health, and we also go into the field to investigate things. It's not always easy, but the people from the foundation go into the field and they look at everything that's happening in the field to see if what is written in the application actually corresponds to what is happening in real life. The final award of 2023 promotion, we are going off to Uganda. Uganda is the third country of Africa to host refugees, more than 1.5 million refugees. And the Rchmis project is that of a smartphone and tablet application for refugee camps to encourage access to healthcare and detect possible epidemics. Let's have a look at this project.
Will register all the members of a household, and they will conduct assessments for children who are under 5 to check on pneumonia, malaria, and diarrhea. They will also assess pregnant women who may be at an onset of a pregnancy or much later. When they find something that is unusual on these assessments, they are trained to refer to a health facility where further care can be provided. data is received and visualized in dashboards that help to inform the health system managers the status of the community. Health system managers can also use this information to determine where services should be sent. They can use it to tell where outbreaks might happen, and most importantly, they use this information to help determine supplies and materials that need to be distributed to the community.
So this is the Rchmis project. So of people who are trained to help people in the refugee camps in Uganda, and to receive this award remotely from Kampala, the capital of Uganda. We welcome Brian Sugala, who is founder of Digita, and Agnès Kamalomba. Brian, delighted to have you here with us remotely for this award ceremony. We can give them a big round of applause. I suppose, Brian, that you're very moved by the idea of receiving this award from the Pierre Fabre Foundation. Even though you couldn't travel to be here with us today, I'm sure that you're very happy today. What is your feeling?
Yes, absolutely. We're very delighted to be one of your awardees, and it's such a testament to collaborate with the foundation and also with all your partners. For you to bring a spotlight and to shine a light on the work the refugees are doing in the country as they look after their fellow refugees in their community. So we're very delighted. Agnès and I and the team are very happy to join you today.
We saw Brian in the video and show the functions of your solution. What developments have you brought, and what developments do you wish to bring to this solution now?
It's important to realize that community health work in the most hard-to-reach places is a very community volunteer service. The people who go to doorsteps and look after children, look after pregnant women, they do this for free. And so what we want to do is to really just bring the power of technology to help them do this job even better. It's important for us to think about what technology can do to change the life of a person providing care. What decisions can we help them to make better? And so we have built decision support in the Android platform. Most importantly, what data do they need to help them to provide meaningful care? How can they locate the household that needs care fast? So they're not just wasting time and going all over the village. These are all important aspects of using the power of technology to aid someone who is already providing care at the household level to do it even better, to do it more effectively, more efficiently, and then collect all of that data and present it to the managers of the health system. And that's what we're supporting in the settlements.
On entend effectivement les enjeux de rémunération.
Yes, we can hear the questions of the pay of these social workers and who train themselves and discover new technologies, and how you work with tablets. You've told us also about the technological challenges of improvement and the data you need to collect. Is there also a geographical stake? Because this application is not developed everywhere in the country, it is only in certain refugee camps.
Yeah.
C'est exact. L'Ouganda est un pays qui accueille beaucoup de réfugiés dans un certain nombre de camps. Et nous sommes présents sur 2 camps de réfugiés. Et grâce à la Fondation, on pourra aussi être présent ailleurs. Ces camps sont des camps, bien entendu, par définition, loin de tout. Et donc, ils font une solution qui puisse être utilisée en hors ligne et aussi en ligne quand il s'agit de transférer les données. Donc il est très important d'en tenir compte et aussi se dire que ces réfugiés ne sont pas originaires de l'Ouganda, ils viennent d'ailleurs. Néanmoins, on offre un service pour la communauté et grâce avec des partenaires, notamment le Haut Commissariat aux réfugiés, avec d'autres associations et institutions, on essaie d'être au plus proche des réfugiés. Parce que ces réfugiés sont certes déplacés, mais pour autant, ils ne doivent pas perdre la qualité, la possibilité d'accéder aux soins. Et les agents communautaires peuvent être soit des Ougandais, soit des réfugiés qui veulent se mettre au service de la communauté. Et nous, on veut s'assurer que ces agents de santé, encore une fois bénévoles, aient toutes les clés pour fournir le soin.
Brian, il y a malheureusement, j'ai envie de dire, beaucoup d'autres pays qui accueillent des réfugiés.
Unfortunately, there are many other countries who are hosting refugees who are political refugees or fleeing from war. Can your solution be easily adapted for these other countries?
Tout à fait. Il y a certaines constantes dans les camps de réfugiés.
That are different from the host community. And so, although the application that we have built provides support to follow the guidelines for ICCM, for family planning, for pregnancy care, there are some unique things around a refugee settlement, such as protection and privacy. And so the data is not just sitting in the mainstream database. It's actually handled by officers working in protection within the refugee settlements. And that's a key thing, to recognize that by adapting to the uniqueness of a settlement, we're supporting regular care without paying the price for ignoring why are people in the refugee settlement in the first place. We want to protect that as much as possible, but at the same time, we want to balance that with quality care. And so the platform is totally adaptable across the region.
Brian, félicitations pour ce projet.
Brian, congratulations for this project, which concerns refugees, but also the training of people who take care of these refugees. So to give this award remotely, we will have Béatrice Garret, who is director of the Pierre Fabre Foundation.
On va remettre Béatrice ce prix par écran interposé.
We will be giving this award via the screen to Brian and the teams in Uganda. Beatrice, what caught the attention of the foundation in this project? I would just like to say hello to Brian and Agnès to begin with, and to say wish you were here.
Pour leur parler, voilà.
Voilà. En tout cas, nous, on a été effectivement.
In any case, yes, we were very enthusiastic about this project. And Ibal is with us in the room, and he went into the field. So if there are any precise questions, then he can answer. No, first of all, the foundation pays particular attention to vulnerable populations. And of course, here, this is a tremendously vulnerable population who are in these big refugee settlements. You can imagine hundreds of thousands of people in these settlements, and people who stay there sometimes for their whole life. So historically, the foundation has always worked on refugee settlements in Lebanon and for a number of years in the Syrian camps. So we're very aware of this problem and happy to see the solution. So it's also people helping themselves. These community health workers come from the very community itself, and they know what the needs are. And it also means for them to grow, to help their own community and help to grow themselves. And it's a tool that works with an entire ecosystem, because there's the High Commissioner for Refugees who's working there with them also. And I'm delighted to learn that there is a third settlement that you will be working in. If I'm not mistaken, there are 13 in the country. And that means there's a lot of potential to develop this solution. And therefore, we're particularly delighted and proud to give you this award and to try to support this initiative and make it more broadly known. Yes, because how will you be supporting them now? Well, everything is done in a very frugal manner. The team that is working on site is working in very frugal conditions. So our help will horizontally help to support their working conditions, access to service, servers and premises. Very structural support we will be providing to begin with. And of course, the foundation can give a budget of 100,000 euros that is distributed between different winners. But for 1 year, we will be providing support and putting the spotlight and helping them to create a network in order to contribute to these initiatives and helping them to grow. So we can show you this award. Brian, would you like to say something to what Beatrice has said?
Yes, we'd like to thank you so much for the vote of confidence, for coming alongside us and recognizing that this support is tremendous in the work that we're doing. We know that there are many refugees that continue to come into Uganda, and the partners on the ground are overwhelmed. And so digitization, even though we all have the evidence that it can help to improve this work, it gets kicked down the list of priorities, and many other things get funded first. But I'm so glad to see that with this work, with the support that you're giving us, we're able to bring the digitization priorities back on the table. We're able to use this to work directly with UNHCR and the Office of the Prime Minister and the local authorities in the settlements to make sure that the resources are utilized well. The refugees that we're working with have just completed a usability study, and they've all expressed very positive results on the power of the digital tool that they now hold. We're so excited that we're going to be able to achieve one additional settlement or two before the end of the year ends. And I'm so glad for your support. Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup, Brian. Félicitations, Agnès. Bon, on va garder
Thank you very much. Congratulations. We will keep the award on the table.
En évidence, Brian, merci
everyone will be able to see it.
rester quelques minutes avec nous.
Thank you, Beatrice. Please stay with us for a few minutes. And we will see if we have any questions for our award winners.
Qui se lève dans la salle de les poser. On va vous apporter tout de suite un micro, monsieur. Et puis, sachez également pour tous les internautes qui nous regardent.
For all of the people who are joining us remotely, it's now or never. If you have any comments, questions, or things to some encouraging comments to make.
Oui, Eric Combe.
I'm Eric Combe, professor at the Sorbonne University for Tropical Diseases and Infectious Diseases, and I'm a dermatologist also. I wanted to ask you a question about Weerwi. Don't you think that this could be a good opportunity to educate as to the prevention of sexually transmitted diseases?
Pour l'éducation, vous avez entendu prévention des maladies sexuellement transmissibles, parce que je pense
because I think that women are the main victims of MSDs, or sexually transmitted diseases, and the people. So they're no doubt more important to educate than men in this regarding this question. Thank you for this question. Well, rules are taboo in Senegal, and sexuality too. We made the choice of targeting young girls to begin with who do not have access to this type of information. And in order to gain access to these young girls in schools and in families, we cannot talk about sexual activity. When we talk about sexual activity or contraception, the door slams shut. So what we did is that we find a way to go around this. So in appearance, all of the Weerwi tools
n'ont rien qui choque.
Nothing shocking in it. We're talking about menstrual cycles, the well-being of young girls and health, etc. However, what we have done is that we have a partnership with call centers and midwife platforms who can provide this information. But that is in a one-to-one relationship where anonymously young girls can talk with
nous, on a le chatbot dans l'application.
And to find out information they need to find out. So we have the chatbot that can answer quite a lot of questions, but when it goes beyond our scope, we refer them to the midwife call center. And this is how we deal with this theme. Maybe we can take things a little bit further through the series, but in order to remain present in homes and schools, we have to be very, very careful. Any other questions?
Thank you very much, Marine. Congratulations. And when I wish I had this app when I was a young girl. As you try to expand to other countries, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. You might meet ministers of health who challenge you and say, with this app, you have the fertility data for my country. And you know how us as Africans, we are always worried about our fertility data. We think every vaccine is trying to curb our fertility. So how would you reassure such a person? Because you really do have a lot of fertility data that you're collecting across the whole country.
I have to admit that I never thought of that. At the moment, I know that we are collecting a lot of data that nobody has, because especially on this range of the population, the young girls, usually before 18, nobody has any data. So at the moment, we're collecting a lot of data, and I don't know yet what we can do, what we cannot do, and that's why I'm really interested in all the discussion we had today, because it's really crucial. So thank you for this one. I will put it on my list.
C'est une nouvelle piste d'évolution pour Weerwi à terme.
So that's a new possible evolution for Weerwi. Any other comments or questions?
Je regarde une fois, trois fois. Je donne juste une remarque d'internaute.
So just a comment from, it's good to use AI to respond to certain needs of the South, but we mustn't forget to train a lot of healthcare professionals after this. And somebody else who's congratulating us for the debate.
Dernière question, monsieur.
A final question. And then we will move on to the conclusions. Thank you. A question for Weerwi. You're talking about new partnerships and the fact of going into other countries. What would be the main obstacles, according to you, that you will encounter? Main obstacles to deploy your solutions in another country, be it in Chad or any other country?
Alors l'application mobile, en fait, elle est
the mobile app is already available across the world. So the first technical obstacle is that today we identify ourselves with a telephone number and we receive a text message for confirmation. So this telephone number service is not available in all countries. Therefore, you need to use an email address, and not all young girls in the countries of interest necessarily have an email address. So we're now trying to look at enrollment through social media so that we can work in other countries. So that's the technical aspects. It's not very complicated. But then there's the cultural adaptation, because we are very rooted in what we've done within Senegal. And that is the question. How will it work? Will the young girls, be happy? Do we need to change the names of the characters on the, for example? And that is what we're going to be working on in coming months. So we can see that it's ultra-local adaptation. What works in Senegal might not be the same characters in Mali, Burkina Faso. I don't know. There is a Senegalese series which is called The Mistress of Our Married Man, which is a very big success in certain countries, and even before it was subtitled, it's been very successful in other countries, even before it was subtitled in French. Now we're in the third season of Weerwi, and we're starting to introduce young people from the Côte d'Ivoire to see if this can open us a door in that direction. So we're impatient to discover the next
Marina et Brian, et félicitations pour ces deux prix, et c'est donc la fin de cette conférence.